Hi guys, this is the first episode of Not-So Impromptu Interviews. Don't really know how we're going to be doing this right now. This is just kind of like the first episode to test the waters out. But if everything goes good, then we're going to keep doing this. But luckily enough, we do have a really good band to introduce us. And the first band that we're going to be doing on this new segment of interviews is actually one of my favorite bands in the local scene, and it is Without Words.
Wake up and my stomach empties out. Been hiding away for a while now. It's not the like
There they are. Hi guys. So can everybody introduce themselves, say what you play and all that?
I'm Sarah, and I play drums.
I'm Kalani, and I sing, and I play rhythm guitar.
I'm Will. I play bass.
I'm Sam. I play lead guitar and sometimes sing.
Sometimes sing. Not all the time, but just like a little sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know, we're recording this on one of the hottest days in the summer right now. So if you see anyone sweating, that's why. Don't judge us. We're human, and that's all that's going to happen in this interview. Okay, so we're just going to get right down to it, okay? So you guys, you dropped the debut EP, Fever Dreams, right? Or Fever Dream, my bad. And that kind of marks the official start of Without Words moving forward in terms of a new style in both aesthetic and music, right?
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, it wasn't always without words, right? So looking back at how the band originally started, do you guys think this was where the band was always going to end up, both sonically and aesthetically? Or was it kind of like an unplanned surprise?
So when I first joined the band, I quietly had that intention, but slowly moved it subtly because I didn't know how they felt about it because I was new to the band.
Mm-hmm.
But then once it kind of started moving in that direction, Kalani and Sarah kind of voiced interest and support of that. So then we more actively started doing it.
We all wanted a change, but just didn't really say anything.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just happened, and Will joined us, and I mean, we love it. So.
Yeah.
So would you say a progression kind of started with each member coming in?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also I feel like we've all worked a lot on our own personal instruments and everything, and so we've all gotten better and figured out what we want.
And our taste in music has definitely diversified as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. How so?
I've started listening to a lot more of the style we play, like indie pop and indie, and then Will really got me into King Gizzard. And then I don't know,
Yeah.
just kind of
I
changed.
just listen to pop music now.
Right. Do you guys think anything from Without Rage stayed in this new form of Without
yeah.
Words?
I think the energy is still there. We were a lot more I guess harder back then, grunge.
Distortion, symbols.
Yeah, we still want to keep up that energy. And we actually have a song that we're thinking of bringing back. That was originally a Without Rage song.
Mhm.
Without wordifying it.
Yes.
Yeah, without words.
Mixing it up.
Okay, so basically this is a fresh slate, and everything that you go moving forward is going to be a new Without Words statement. Nothing that was Without Rage originally is kind of what you guys stand for these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just with new releases, we're going to be changing it up a lot. Actually, today we're finally finishing out the demos for our next EP.
Oh,
And,
sick.
it's going to be a completely different sound than
Yeah.
Fever Dream.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
also just we've been writing some new songs too, and they're totally different
Yeah.
as well.
We don't really write with we write with a genre, but it's more we write what sounds good to us, and then we're all right, well, where can we fit this in? How can we piece these together?
Especially how our songwriting has progressed.
Mhm.
Because last time we practiced, it was a comment that was brought up where the more songs we write, each song we progress with, it gets harder each time. We
try
to-
parts we can't play.
Yeah.
we
So
try
push
to
ourselves
challenge
and-
ourselves and kind of get better at it.
Mhm.
Crap.
Yeah. So for this EP, then, would you say it was more of a collective writing process, or did it feel like one person started it off and everyone was like, okay, since that's the direction we're going, I'll figure out how to do it this way, and then I'll do it this way, and then I'll add this in?
So actually, all the songs on this EP are older. Than,
Two of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
than songs on Fever Dream,
Mm-hmm.
and we just like completely reworked the instrumentals on them.
Okay.
On the upcoming
Like
one or Fever Dreams?
On the new one.
Oh, the new
Like
one.
we kept like the melody and the words and the structure, but like everyone pretty much redid their parts.
Yeah.
So what about Fever Dream? Was it the same kind of process?
Fever Dream was like for the most part songs that I
Like,
brought to the band before that like were written before I was joined.
Mm-hmm.
Sick
And then we made 'em our own.
Sick was the only one that was written after I joined the band.
Okay.
That
And was
one-
that during Will?
Yes.
Was Will in the band? Okay.
So
Exactly.
That was during me. Everything else
Yeah.
wasn't, and then that, yeah.
Well,
It was
Sick
before
is-
the Will era. Yeah.
funny story about that because we actually wrote that song Kalani and I without rage.
But we didn't.
But
Wow.
it was when we had our previous bassist, and we decided that we didn't want to bring it to the band at the time because we thought it needed a better bassist.
or
Really?
we just thought like we wanted.
We were like, we
a
can't,
different
we don't want to
idea.
play this with the current lineup. Like, we want to wait till we have someone.
Just kind of like didn't feel right.
It did.
Yeah, no.
Because of what I said as well.
I think we just needed to all get better, and then we were able to put the song and create it the way we envisioned it to be.
I honestly don't even remember writing that song. I remember just like one day being there.
No, yeah, it's because we finished the song before we showed it to anyone, like months before.
And then we just came up with the parts and
Oh,
just like,
yeah. Okay.
That's usually how we write stuff.
Well, no, so we finished up until the second chorus, just the two of us. Then the outro part, that was just like we were jamming and decided
yeah.
that it was where
Oh,
it should go.
That's where the best stuff happens.
So kind of like a question for Sarah and Kalani, because you guys are the last quote unquote two original members, do you kind of feel like with the addition of these two people, which by the way, for those who don't know, Without Words or originally Without Rage was mainly a lot of women in the band, and it like fluctuated a lot with who was in the band, and there wasn't always a permanent member when it came to like second guitar. So really it was just three women in a band. And I think the whole stereotype or the labeling of a girls band is like outdated these days. But at the same time, I feel like society still sees it as like either a marketing way or like somehow a way to like put yourselves out there, both musically and just the way that you promote yourselves. So now that you have both two guys and two gals in the band, do you think that anything has changed in terms of how you put yourselves out there or how people like take you in?
I think, I mean, we're still two chicks and two dudes. I like how it's, I mean, I don't think it really
It's totally
matters.
balanced.
It's all about, you know, who connects, you know? It's not really about gender, but I think that, yeah, we still, I mean, we're a female fronted band, so that's kind of the first thing people see.
I mean, even just with our personalities, we're all kind of diverse within that spectrum. So within the whole like women versus men, it's not that. It's just all collective. We're pretty much what would you call it? Like a mesh pot or
Fleetwood
like,
Mac.
I'm
just
they only
kidding.
have one girl.
No, there was Christina B.
Oh, sorry.
We're all
a
just like
melting pot. We're
siblings.
just a
Yeah,
we're
we honestly
we're a
kinda
melting
act
pot
like-
of just everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
I feel like we're a family.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
Yeah.
Do you feel like people have treated you differently now?
Because
With more.
we're
Now that there's like two guys in the band, like is there a dynamic change in how people like treat you in the music scene?
I don't think it's based on who. I know this question's for you, but I really don't think it's based off of if there are two men. I think it's just how we've progressed as musicians and just the songs that we've brought to the table, and people are like,
yeah.
I mean,
whoa, like
I
the
don't know.
structure.
I
is
mean,
so-
Sometimes
I-
when we play with other bands, it shows the only members they approach about like technical stuff are me and Will.
Also,
Well, they do
there's-
know
yeah,
more
there's
about
been
the
a few
technical stuff.
times
Yeah, no,
where
but I mean, like, organization of shows wise, like, you run a lot of that.
Yeah.
That's true.
there's been a few times where I've like went to other bands and I've like been like, okay, your time's running out, like
And
get
they just,
off,
like,
and they
do
just
not
don't listen to
respect.
me. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get the tall guy over here, and then you'll listen. And they do, and
Yeah.
you know that freaking sucks, obviously. But
Yeah, of course.
I think it's just it's just what it is, and like they're gonna learn eventually, and you know I'm just as good as they are, and
Maybe
Yeah.
stop
They
getting
deserve
the
to
tall
respect.
guy and just get furious.
Ooh.
I could
What
just
a
get
knife.
mad, just go bitch mode.
I mean, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no, I'm
Right.
not afraid whatsoever.
Well, I'm glad that now that you
Wait a
guys
minute.
have kind of a solid lineup now, it seems like you guys are actually like moving forward. Because I remember back when the band started, it was kind of like we don't know what's gonna happen next. We don't know
Had
like
no
what we
idea
want to
what
do. But from someone that's like been there almost from the start, I'd like to think it seems like you guys have really like solidified yourselves in how you want to be as a band, even if that means changing the genre up with every song or every EP drop or any show that you do. Like it really does feel like you guys have it like kind of a straight ahead mindset now. So that's really cool to see.
And also, when I started the band, I think, or when we started it, I was like 15,
Yeah.
and now I'm 19. So it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah,
like
I-
maturity
I-
and like knowing what you want.
I had just started playing drums too, and I was definitely not that good. So
Right.
I love seeing our progression on our instruments. It's great. to
Well,
see.
yeah, but like you specifically get better like
Every
month,
time.
like, noticeably
Every
better
time,
every
Sarah.
single practice.
We love to see it. We love to see it. Okay, so wait, I want to go back to the EP real quick. The EP is short. It's 3 songs, and one of which is Foolish Boy, a single that you released previously. Yet the songs really sound cohesive together and how they're ordered. Like, you know, this one goes first, this one's in the middle, and this one's last. And just, you know, being in the same package. Was it a matter of choosing which songs you guys had written in total, or was it like deciding which sounded the best to debut first?
No,
'Cause,
actually,
like, yeah.
it was supposed to be 4 songs originally.
Okay.
And we decided one of them would sound better on this EP that we're doing now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, they just sound better together. I mean, they're also like our oldest songs, so I feel like now that we finished that, that's like a chapter we can
Yeah,
close.
As
for
well
instance,
as
the newer song. Sorry.
there's as well as just the popularity of each song goes with how the reactions that we got from the crowd of when we played the songs. That's why we put Stick first. Then that's why we put Dahlia
Well, we put
second.
Foolish Boy last because we had already
Yeah,
released.
and then Foolish Boy was last because everyone had heard it before, and it would be like, oh hey, cool, Foolish Boy's at the end. Like,
Little
we put
sweet.
that
That was a
before, a little
cooler
sweet,
mix this
sweet
time.
It's
reminder.
also, yeah, we remixed it too, or not remixed, but
Not like a
mixed-
remix.
It's like
it was mixed.
It was
again.
mixed.
again.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we added a couple new parts.
yeah, and we
Like
did
some-
some new
Yeah,
editing.
but
stuff.
like we chose those songs to be on the same EP because they have like kind of like a brighter, like synthier, poppier sound, and
Yeah.
like the newer stuff is a lot more like raw,
Yeah.
like band rock.
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
So with Foolish Boy still being like the single, the other 2 though, was it kind of like a natural feeling of this one's first, this one's second? Or was it like this makes sense in a sense of like sonically?
We
wanted
wanted
Sick
to be first because
It's a
we were like,
banger.
That's just
yeah,
our
we were just like,
favorite.
people are gonna click on that one first. We want
So,
them to hear that one
The
first.
best one, yeah. we
Yeah.
love the
So
best
it was like a marketing idea
Yeah,
then.
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
one. Also because it's our favorite.
It is our favorite.
Just like for us, that song just bangs. So,
It's so fun to play.
And you know what? To be totally honest with you, I did not expect that kind of song from you guys. Not to say that I didn't think you were capable of it, but you know, like you said, like when you first put the EP on, it's the first song you hear, and really, like, you know, everyone heard Foolish Boy before, so we knew what to expect from that. But then the other 2 songs, it was really, how do I put it? It was surprising, but also like expected in the sense of, oh, like this is how they're gonna go forward. And do you guys think that that was like what you guys wanted to do, was show that you guys are moving forward past what you originally were known for?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Mhm.
Especially, I think with Dahlia, because I think the recording of that song sounds like way different than the way we did it live. Because like we did a lot of like production stuff with that song.
Yeah. And yeah, Fever Dream is also just, we did a lot of production stuff on that, and like the next EP that we have is going to be more raw. So I feel like we're going to keep changing it up, but we're going to stay in like, you know, indie alternative,
Within the
pop,
with how it
rock.
works.
Yeah. It's all like, it's us, but we're going to do a little like King Gibb style.
Yeah, but
I don't think we
definitely
want
switch
to
it up a
define
little
ourselves.
bit.
like the production on Fever Dream, I definitely feel like the way we had been playing it live for the months leading up to it was like different than the way we always imagined those songs sounding when we
Yeah.
wrote them.
Yeah.
So it felt nice to like release the version that was like in our head that we were never really able to accomplish live.
That's interesting. Are you guys gonna play it a different way now once music does come back live, or is it a different version?
I think we'll play it
no.
the same, but
It's like in order to play it like that, we'd have to learn how to like play with a click and a backing track live, because there's like so much of what it is there is like effects and
Yeah, just be
Oh, yeah.
super tight.
I mean, we are super tight. Not saying
Yeah.
we aren't,
No,
Don't
no.
call yourselves out now. This isn't the time.
yeah.
but yeah.
So like kind of just whatever is at your hands is what you're gonna try to do for the best kind of
Kind of like
performance.
when bands, I mean, obviously it's nice when bands play it exactly the way like it sounds on the recording, but it's kind of cool to get a different, not even a different version, just like this is how these musicians are feeling on this day, so this is what they're giving out, and that's what you see.
The live
you know?
is a surprise, while the stereo or the studio version is.
It's always
you
the
get.
same, yeah.
Well, you know, I think a lot of people do appreciate that though, because that was kind of like the magic of going to live shows, was seeing like different ways of playing it, or if like someone fucks up, it kind of sounds right in a sense of like, oh yeah, it was supposed to be like that. Yeah. Like, oh, that person was out of time. No, it was supposed to be like that. Like that's how we were going for it. But you know, speaking of live shows, you know, I do want to kind of touch on this topic because I think a lot of, especially smaller bands, are thinking about it. You guys did release an EP, which is a really exciting experience to obviously have as a band, especially for the fans as well. You know, having music out there for bands and being able to finally know the lyrics or listen to it in your car or like show your friends versus like some shitty recording you had on like Instagram or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it's really good for both sides, both the fans and the band, to just have this kind of music out there for everyone to listen to. And of course, the best part of dropping new music, especially like an EP or a CD or anything like that, is playing it live and having the like the EP drop and everything like that. But obviously in 2020 we haven't had any live shows since February, March, something like that. So from your own experience of dropping something new in 2020, how has it been just kind of like promoting it, like doing anything that relates to the EP and just not having those shows to kind of back yourselves up on when dropping new music that people can finally like sing along to?
I think it's really cool because right now everyone's on social media, so it's nice to know that you can post something on social media and people will be like, oh, cool, like this is something I can listen to. I'm bored, I'm not doing anything, I'm quarantining. Like it's something new, it's something different. So I'm really grateful for that.
But with how the quarantine has kind of worked out, everyone has kind of slowed down, as everyone knows, and everyone's been kind of become a hermit. Not us in particular, but a lot of people have kind of just come away from the social aspect of things. And so with promoting it, we've been trying to do the best we can. It has been a bit slow, but right now we're trying to advertise as much as possible. We have some advertisement that we're going to be putting out.
It's definitely like we have to shift our focus from like live performances into like content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you have to go to like the business side of being a band and not just like having fun playing shows, hanging out with friends. But it's pretty cool.
It's also given us like the opportunity to like advance our inspirations and like dig into like really trying to stylistically advance our music and just like call on different inspirations
And record more.
record more and just like really think about what we're doing a bit more.
So are you going to be taking this time more or less to just write music and record
Yeah,
music?
we can like write songs, like spend more time writing the song as opposed to being like, we have a show in 2 weeks, we have to get this song ready to play live, instead of like sitting down and spending multiple practices like adjusting and fine-tuning our parts.
And when you have shows, it's like you're prepping for the show. You're not always using practice time as like recording or writing time. And I live up in Ojai, so it's like I have to travel down here, so we got to use our time wisely, you know.
Gotcha.
So it's nice that we get all this time to just write and hang out and, you know, put out music.
Yeah, now's the time to really be creative. Like, put it out there.
And I know you guys have done just a couple, I don't even know what the new word is, it like social distancing shows where you guys have done like Instagram Live or like Zoom shows. What's your opinion on that? Do you think this is like an okay substitute for the time being, or is it just kind of like not something worth spending so much effort and energy putting into?
I mean,
I think it's fun. I love it.
Because, well, Will and I are both, like, engineers, so, like, recording a live video is, like, incredibly fun for me, and it's, like, awesome, and I love doing that.
Makes me feel really professional.
Yeah.
Like, I always watch Audio Tree and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, we can make our own little audio tree. Like,
Yeah.
get creative. Yeah, like,
We need our own Cheryl Waters.
We need our we do need our own Cheryl Waters. But it definitely has become it wasn't a substitute beforehand because it was just another version of content that like just live content. But now it feels more like a substitute than really anything.
Yeah.
Like for instance, we filmed up in Ojai for a
Board of Boredom.
Oh, yeah,
Board of Boredom, and that was really fun, and it was such a fun experience doing it. But if that starts to become more of the mainstream thing to do, then I'm okay. I'm okay with I'm okay with it, but it's just a lot more than what is promised within the like, oh, start a band, do all these things. That kind of dream is kind of becoming more of a become more technical and learning new things and like cameras, audio, instead of just plug into your amp.
And not everyone has that stuff too.
And not everyone has the equipment, not everyone has the skills, and so
because everything we do comes out of our own pockets. So it's like we gotta really figure it out.
Yeah, that's another thing is we used to be able to rely on like show money to like pay for mixing and stuff.
Now it's
and we don't get that anymore.
And then there was a second where none of us were working. We were all like,
oh god.
Yeah, and like that stuff also paid for like making T-shirts and stuff like that. So like all of those things, like mixing and T-shirts and mastering, is all out of pocket now.
Yeah,
which is annoying, but the price.
gotta do what you gotta do.
I gotta say, I do miss the adrenaline of playing live.
Oh my god, I literally killed.
Just to feel the energy of the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, the crowd is going off of you and you off the crowd and just everyone hyping each other up.
Yeah.
So would you say, because there are people still watching you, there are still people reacting, especially like if you do it on Instagram Live, people are commenting. Is it more of a feeling of people being in person, like actually like reacting right in front of you versus someone actually just watching you?
Intimacy.
Yeah.
Just to see their actual face react, like a smile, their eyes widen, their eyebrows go up, and then all of a sudden their ears perk up and they start moving their shoulders. And you're like, oh wait, I gotta move my shoulders too. And then we all kind of work together.
And the lights are flashing.
Yeah, and it's hot.
Right.
I mean, it's hot right now.
I know.
It's really hot right now, but
it's just like, I feel like anybody plays differently when other people are watching them. And even if like when it's on a phone, it's just like,
we can't see them.
We can't see them. They're, just typing and stuff. So it's like
with how we are as a band, we kind of look at each other and we kind of vibe off of each other, which is fantastic. But for instance, if the crowd was there, it'd be so much more.
Yeah.
We do have the opportunity, and I'm very thankful for our family-esque relationship. But yeah, I would think that some bands might not have that, and so it might be a bit difficult to have that.
To not like have the crowd being there to like.
No examples in particular, but
Yeah.
So especially like DIY bands, we rely on like really shitty venues to just give us a space. It doesn't matter how the sound quality is, because I mean, from experience, sound quality on a phone when a band plays live is just absolute shite. Like I can't hear, especially if like the drums are in the back. Like I don't hear anything that the bass player is doing. I don't hear anything that the guitar player is doing. Sometimes I hear the singer, and for some odd reason, that doesn't matter when I'm in person. Like everything could get washed out when I'm in person, and for some reason, it still feels like a more organic and energetic thing.
The vibration in the air, the literal like vibes, dude.
Feel the vibes in the air, man.
It's also just like a big ass guitar amp moves a lot of air.
Yeah.
Especially a kick just goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I miss it.
And you can like feel it in your chest.
Yeah, that too. You feel the bass in your stomach.
When the kick
Also,
literally
it's a social
punches you in
thing.
the face.
Like hanging out with people. just
Right.
do.
It's a whole social aspect that
Yeah.
we're all missing out on.
Exactly. Like I see all my
Right.
friends there.
Yeah.
You know, and I personally owe a lot to little DIY music venues. I know you guys do too. We all thrive on those little spaces, and it is unfortunate to know a lot of places are closing down now because they can't do shows, so there's no income coming in. If you guys had any say or any way of moving forward, because you know, not every venue is going to last through this, which is really sad to say and know. But do you guys have any ideas on how we could move forward because of that? Because being in Los Angeles, house shows are very hard to come by, whether it's because, you know, we still live at our parents' house and we can't throw shows there, or we just don't want that many people in our backyards and our houses to destroy it. Do you guys have any ideas of how local bands can move forward? Because that, like you said, local shows are what we use to get our energy out, to also put ourselves out there. So without those spaces, do you guys know what we could do to move forward?
I mean,
I'm really hoping there might be like some cheap real estate and some people start new venues.
Yeah.
It's like I feel there's going to be such a big demand for shows, and so many bands are just sitting around on their asses practicing and writing music right now and getting better.
I
Because
think
like I'm in other bands besides Without Words where like we're practicing this whole time and like we're all the best we've ever been. And like when we come out, we're going to be better than we were before all of this, like way better.
in my perfect world, I think that people with a lot of money should just understand that the arts is very valued and that like people need it. And so,
Well,
you know,
we live in
GoFundMe's always
America.
good.
so
I know, but we
that's
also
all
live in
shit.
California, and there's a lot of people that, you know, understand that the arts is important, and if you make it heard, you can always do
I feel like we
something.
have a very big community, and I've like, especially when quarantine started, it's just like everyone was doing their live videos, and it just felt like a whole little family was like getting together, even though like we were all in these different places.
Right.
I think we will always have that.
Yeah.
But with oncoming venues, possibly, like an idea could possibly be open fields, or just like a place where you could get a permit, just in an
Parks.
open area, parks.
Something.
Just where it's
Your
not
front
just
yard.
the fans. It's like if it's in a neighborhood, you invite everyone around. Like, hey,
Exactly.
come! Like
Yeah.
we're playing music. So possibly like
There's gonna
that.
be lots of
Well, yeah, and then that's the
Yeah,
thing.
then
There's
that's
the
also
whole,
a problem with
there's the whole
the
cops,
cops and
you know, underage
and
people.
uses of substances, which
No
is
stuff.
bad.
that has
The
been
no-no
denied
stuff, yes,
the
in
no-no
quite
stuff.
a few venues.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately.
yeah, it would just become more, I guess, parental control,
No.
I think no, just inclusive.
Shut up.
more inclusive. Yeah, more inclusive.
No parents.
Parents don't understand, Will.
Not allowed.
What if I have a
Fuck
kid?
you. Fuck you.
I
Mom.
don't.
Parents!
But what if I have a kid?
Bill, what are you
Then
trying
you're
to
a
say?
parent.
Oh, see, exactly. Then I wouldn't be able to play.
Will and Sarah, do you have something to tell us?
No, we don't.
Well, you bring up a really good point, though. Like, outdoor spaces are kind of like the new thing that people are going to, especially bigger bands. Like, bigger bands are doing drive-in concerts.
That's
even
tight.
comedians are doing that, or more performative acts are doing that.
Yeah.
And if we're going to be totally 100, not everybody who goes to local shows has a car, no matter what age you are. You could be in your late 20s. You could be in your, late teens. you don't have a car,
He doesn't have
so
I don't have
you know, we can't really do that. But it brings up a good idea to think about, like, how our local band's going to take advantage of that, like, open space area. And if we are able to find a place like that, like in an idealistic world, we can find a place that people can do that. Would you guys want to jump the gun and do it right away? Would you feel safe doing that? Or would you kind of want to wait and feel it out a little
I
bit?
don't want to see how it happens when other people do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I
Make
think
a more informed decision.
we would be a part of it, obviously enforce masks on, like, enforce social distancing, like,
Mhm.
you know, but I wouldn't be the first to do it just
Yeah.
because.
I don't want to
I
be
wanna
the one
wait.
that does it first and ruins it for everyone else because we did it too early.
Let
Yeah,
someone else get in
exactly.
trouble and then learn from their mistakes.
Or
Yeah.
I would just wait and see
Well,
how
not in
this
trouble,
year
but
But
plays
some- like
actually,
something-
with this kind of situation, I would like to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah,
As opposed to learning from my mistakes and like endangering
other people. Yeah.
in this situation, not in every.
Right.
I think we just want to play it as safe as possible.
Yeah, and then just make. I mean, we always want to make it safe for anyone to
Wear
enjoy
your
music
masks.
and to feel safe in the
Yeah.
community and be able to feel like they can do whatever they want. But
Yeah.
we just have to, take extra
I
precautions.
mean, even
now.
before COVID, we wanted people to
Always.
feel safe at our shows,
Right.
especially like young girls and
Yeah.
people of color and
Yeah.
queer people. Like,
I started going to shows when I was like 13, 14, and so I feel like
Yeah.
it's. And I always had people,
Well, I
that
mean,
were kind of not
I-
protecting, but like had an eye,
When I first joined the band, he said, "Get ready to have to punch people off stage."
Wow, there was one time someone did try and grab me off stage. That was interesting, but
Oh, yeah.
as long as that's why actually I do like having dudes in the band because
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, you want to fuck with me?
Fuck
Get
with
over
him.
here, fuck with him.
It
Yeah.
truly does help to have an extremely tall bass player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our band,
Yeah.
we really have our own bouncer.
Yeah, I mean, like, this isn't like a diss or anything, but most of Without Words is pretty
Yeah, we
small.
do.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like a teddy bear. I don't want to hurt anyone.
Will does really stand out, and he's supposed to be the one in the back laying it down.
damn, like
I know.
you.
That's like come closer. You look like Jesus. Move forward.
Maybe because I am.
Oh.
Ooh, maybe we gotta talk about that religion for a second.
No.
Yeah, sure.
We're not gonna touch on religion.
No.
I don't ever want to touch on religion ever in this kind of thing.
Yeah, let's
What I
not.
do want to touch on though is kind of sticking with like shows and all that, because we don't know when shows are coming back. We don't know how long it's going to take for us to figure out a safe way to put on shows, especially for smaller bands, because I think a lot of people aren't talking about that smaller bands are going to have to wait even longer than bigger bands because, we don't have that kind of space to just be more socially distanced. We don't have the kind of money to just build a new place all of a sudden. We've always relied on these really shitty alleyway shows or like basement shows or garage shows. Right. So it could be a couple years. Who knows? But if you were able to make up the dream show of an EP release show for Fever Dream, who would you have on the lineup and where would you have it?
Unlimited budget.
Local bands or like
Whatever you guys want. If you want to do both versions, you can do that. I just think it's an interesting thing to think about since we have so much time to think about it.
I don't want to play favorites with the local
Let's-
bands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
okay.
not gonna say local bands. We're gonna
Some
say
bullshit
Okay.
people we know.
yeah. We
Okay.
got three
People will see
homies.
this.
Okay, no, that's fine.
we do love a lot of bands. in the
Dude,
scene.
Peach Pit.
Peach
Jack-
Pit.
I would have Peach Pit.
Jacqueline
play.
McKenna.
Declan McKenna.
Declan McKenna.
Honey.
Yeah.
I'd
there we
like
go.
it to be outdoors, maybe on the ocean.
No, fuck.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
the
don't
beach
think
rock-
any of the bands that I listen to.
Dude, the
would
beach
be-
will destroy my gear.
And we'd have King Gizzard clothes.
I'm not
There we go.
gonna put my pedal board anywhere near sand.
Smart.
Okay, it'd be at
It'd be in the middle of the fucking redwoods.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Outside of Niagara
or on a
Falls.
rooftop.
Ooh, rooftop show. Like
Are you going to pull like a Beatles?
No, we're gonna pull.
No,
we're
we're
gonna,
gonna play
pull
it.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Or a U2.
Oh, yeah, or you.
Ooh. So you guys are more leaning towards like atmospheric areas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking like, a bridge show would be cool and possible.
I think a
Generator
forest
show.
show would be
Generator.
so cool though.
Yeah, I would love to do a generator show at some point. Especially in Ojai, there's a lot of spaces that like have like so much
Yeah,
potential.
no. cross that off. The river bottom.
Oh, the river bottom.
What's the river
River
bottom?
bottom.
It's
Yeah,
just-
explain what the river bottom is.
It's an Ohio.
It's just in Ojai. It's just a river bottom, and it's.
Oh, it's quite literally like an
Yeah, it's
empty
a
river.
bottom.
Bottom of a river.
It's yeah.
Well, there was a.
There
river.
was a river, but
It's,
not
it's
anymore.
more of a creek now.
The creek.
So there's water in it?
Creek.
What?
There's water in it?
Kind of.
There's like a
sometimes.
creek nearby that you have to step over, but for the most part, it's just like an empty basin.
Okay.
It looks super cool.
It's interesting that you guys chose all outdoor places instead of like something like Wembley Stadium. Is that because of quarantine where you just don't want to be indoor venues or?
Yeah. I mean, I just
Yep.
like outdoor venues because
It's
one,
cooler.
it's cooler. Like you're not dripping with sweat. Although that's kind of nice sometimes.
But I mean, those for myself, like Wembley Stadium, it's never been a place to be like, or like Madison Square Garden. Never
Oh,
really.
wait.
No.
Wait.
No, in my head, in my opinion, it's never been a place of.
Okay, question.
of
What if we
wanting to get to
what if we
concerts.
played like a barge show?
A barge?
Yeah,
a
like in the
barge?
middle of a river.
Oh.
Or in the middle.
Going down the river.
Like the Pink Floyd show.
Oh.
We're like they're
Oh.
up in their boats.
Oh.
And
See, now you're really dreaming. Now you're really dreaming.
A lot of money that like Pink Floyd. So like a bunch of doctors and dentists.
Okay, but actually, I'd say definitely outside because
Outside, it's just like
It's also
the
nice.
stars
Nice.
under the stars.
Sure.
Lots of homies. Lots
Yeah.
of
Night show? Would you want it to be a night show?
Yeah.
I'd say night show.
Yeah, I hate that when the sun gets in my eyes.
No, we're a nighttime band.
Or evening to night.
Oh yeah,
Dusk.
sunset does.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to do it in like a disco themed place. Like, what if
I
like
feel like we're just going down a
roller
rabbit
skates?
hole.
Yeah, yeah. Roller skates.
No. That sounds like a lot of knee injuries.
It does sound
it'd be
like
fun.
Imagine a roller skate mosh pit.
Yo.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of injuries and a
That sounds
lot
like
of
a
lawsuits.
Yeah.
That just because look, what if people don't want to roller skate, but then people are going to be
Sounds like a
rolling
lot
into
of
people?
Right.
That's like a bowling mosh pit, man.
We're dreaming.
Yeah, we're-
here.
we
we
gotta
don't
go.
know.
Yeah, but in actuality, though, if you did come back finally, is there any bands off the top of your head that you could think of that you would just want to have your first show back with? Any shout outs you want to give to any of the bands you play with?
Rays.
The Rays, their homies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better.
We
Oh,
always
I
love
love
playing
it
with
so
King
much.
Malo.
Yeah,
We're playing
yeah.
with them a lot. We actually had a show booked with them like a week after quarantine started.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let's see who else.
It's like
Martini Drive.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Martini Drive.
Martini
always-
Drive always, yeah.
mean,
Oh,
Shout out to
me
Martini.
and Sarah. I want to fucking put Nightmare Cowboys on there.
That would be fun.
Uh,
I really wanted to play with Steve, and he was gonna be on that.
Yeah,
lineup,
we
too.
had like this show that was essentially like our perfect show booked at Sarah's house, where it was just every band was like people we really like and are friends with, and also really like their music.
Mhm.
And it
And
would pretty
then-
much be
So
that
we should just do that show.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
we come back, we'll
Minus
just play that show.
lineup.
What was that lineup?
It was King Mala.
No, it started with us with Nightmare Cowboys.
Now, yeah, Nightmare Cowboy. No, I was going down though. I was doing like King Mala, us, Martini Drive, Steve from Negro Galacticus, and then am I missing?
Nightmare Cowboys.
No,
Oh,
no,
Nightmare Cowboys, and then
Yeah, that'd be a solid show.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you guys wouldn't put yourselves as headliners for your EP release show?
We like
Oh wait, EP release
Oh, well,
show.
that-
Then
oh.
yeah, we could
Okay,
be the
yeah.
headline. We were
Well,
just
like-
thinking of like a show.
Oh,
we
okay,
always
okay.
assumed that we'd be on there. we just
That
didn't
was-
mention it. We were
Right.
already on.
also
Right.
that was like an already existing lineup.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you guys would want to do that as soon as the shows come back, right?
Like,
Yeah.
that was a lineup I was really excited
I was really
about.
excited for it too.
Yeah, it's also interesting because we got to hope that these bands will stick around for however long it
Yeah,
takes.
some bands have broken
Yeah,
up.
There's a couple
I
bands
know.
that are like calling it
Gonzo.
quits, and I'm like, stop.
Please do.
Yeah, right? Okay, so I got a couple more questions for you guys, and then we're going to wrap it up real quick. I kind of wanted to ask this question more to check in on you guys personally, more than a serious question. But we've been talking a lot about dreams. We did dream shows, Fever Dream, and the EP is Fever Dream. So I just wanted to know, would you say that dreams or fever dreams had any inspiration towards you, whether it be towards music or you personally? Like, have you ever had an instance where a fever dream just seriously messed you up to a point where like you had to stop real life for a second, just allow yourself to like process what the fuck just happened? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like where dreams just kind of like hit you and you just had to like take it in either artistically or on your own?
Yeah, I get really bad sleep paralysis sometimes.
Okay.
So we're actually writing a song right now that's about that. The title Fever Dream was actually I was going through my phone looking at like rants that I did, and I was like naming things to Sam, just being like, all right, what do you think? Like, what sounds good? And I think, I don't know, some weird poetic thing that I wrote, and then it said Fever Dream, and we were like,
Yeah. Also,
that sounds good. Like, that's good.
like I quote unquote produced the EP, I guess, and like sonically, I really wanted it to kind of sound
Dream.
like a dream,
Mm-hmm.
but like not just like any dream, but like a weird, fucked up dream that may have been reality and may have been a dream, and you don't
Stuck in the
really know.
in between.
Yeah.
Or
Interesting.
Happens to me a lot.
yeah.
I was really going for that sonically with like the instrument sounds.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was saying that I've recently had some really trippy dreams recently, like that could almost be considered fever dreams. And they've
Hey,
been-
were
Yeah.
you
Did you have a fever?
No. I said I'm not sick. I'm not sick. It's they've just been really trippy, like
Heat dreams.
basically heat dreams. Yeah,
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. People are getting those things right now.
it's terrifying because last night I thought there were things coming out of my skin, and it was terrifying.
or when your teeth
Yeah,
fall out and
or
there's a
sweat.
crack in your mouth? and
No.
you're like,
I just-
This was like
Tying it back to like our music and stuff, like
brutal.
I feel like a lot of our music is very like happy sounding and very fancy and I love it like that. But the lyrics are very like wake up and my stomach empties out, throwing up. Like it's not a pretty lyric, and a lot of our lyrics are not pretty, but the music is. So I don't know. I don't know. Wait, how was I gonna tie that in? Shit. But I just feel like I don't know. Like
Well, like dreams, like, you know, it's, yeah.
like you know.
You throw up in your dream.
You get it. We
Yeah.
all get it.
I mean, you know,
It's not fine.
Fever dream?
Wake up.
Oh, so you want to the origin of that line? Sam can tell the story.
Okay, it was like, I don't know, like March or April last year in 2019. And I was like driving to school and I was late. And I pulled into the parking lot, and Kalani and I always parked next to each other. She was the only person in the parking lot because I was late. And she was just like sitting, like leaning out of the front door of her car, just puking. And I was like, sick.
Word.
I
At
puked.
school.
And I was like, sick. I puked before I came to school today.
Word.
Oh yeah, wake up and my stomach empties out. We like to throw up in this house.
I don't.
I don't either. But
What was going on that day? I'm really curious to know. Like, why were you both puking?
Diabetes. My birth control fucked me up.
So, okay, so just kind of like oddball, everyday kind of thing.
Yeah, like we were legit just like throwing up, and
It had nothing to do with partying the night before or staying up late. You guys were just like, no, this is just normal stuff you're throwing up over.
I don't know what you're talking.
Yeah, right? Drugs? I don't know. But I don't know what partying
Drugs
is.
during quarantine?
No way.
Surely not. Well, that,
I'm just as
I'm a
straight as
good
you,
Jewish
Sam.
woman. Okay.
yeah. Well, that's okay. So now that we know that line, though, would you say that any dream has made you throw up? Like, just like such an intense dream. I know for me personally, like I've woken up in just a sweaty mess.
Yeah,
And you're like,
I
shaking.
do that.
Yeah.
I wake up in a cold sweat.
Yeah.
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 I normally feel like I wake up and I can't breathe. Like there's like something on my chest, and it doesn't really make me nauseous. It just makes me feel like, oh,
Stress.
okay, like let me get my breath back.
If the
you know?
level of stress would go any higher, you could possibly throw up.
Yeah.
But it's just stressful. You're like,
I mean, I've waken up with that.
hmm
well, I mean, that's
Well, that's because you got
medical.
diabetes.
That's not-
Diabetes.
Fucking rip that guy.
Do you guys know of that theory where like some dreams mean something? So like if you're falling or you're like if you're really slow, well, you're gonna say something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well-
Yes. Okay. I've
I
had.
believe in none of that shit.
Okay. You.
Are you feeding
I
Bridges?
believe it.
I've had experiences in my past where I've had dreams of something that like I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know where I am. Who are these people? And then later on in my life, like a couple weeks or maybe even a year later, that thing happened.
Yeah,
It
I've
was-
had that.
It's
Deja vu.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had deja vu so much.
It was real deja vu, or it was like
We have deja vu.
it was a vision into the future. It's really weird, and it's happened before, and it's so trippy. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
It is.
The
scary.
craziest one is when like you're in a dream and like usually it's like people you know, but then there's someone you don't know and you're like, who are you? How did I make this person up?
That's
Are you
Don't
actually
make them
real?
up. You've actually
Are
seen
you
them.
a
yeah, that's the thing.
person?
All of your dreams, the people that you see, you've seen them before. You
Yeah.
can't make anyone up in your head.
That's
I mean, I
crazy.
feel like that's wild.
I don't check that fact, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
Well, as a psych major from college, yeah, you don't actually have quote unquote deja vu, which is interesting though, because some deja vu is unexplainable. A lot of my professors said that they could not talk about deja vu or dreams because there's just too much avant-garde going on, and if they gave an explanation, it would be
Wrong.
unlawful of them to do. So it is interesting, Will, that you brought up deja vu because, you know, it's unexplainable sometimes. There's no way that you could place an event happening or a person happening or anything like that. But have you guys ever had that dream where like you're falling and like you just can't wake up from it? And then like when you wake up, you jump, like you actually like jump. Yeah.
When you're in class and you're like,
Oh my
I had that happen to me last
No,
night.
I
Like,
either don't dream or just dream everyday situations.
yeah.
damn, y'all are boring.
Wow.
I got people dying in my dreams.
No, it's because I
I got some crazy
I
shit
get
happening in my
kidnapped all the time.
Dude, for some reason there's guns a lot in my dreams. Like someone's robbing me all
I
the
think it's
time.
because you probably, it's like just an embedded
Yeah.
fear or something.
Probably.
Do you guys
Yeah.
think it means anything outside of like, oh, it's just stress, or oh, I'm just like really hot?
It's like I've like found that a lot of like fantasies or phobias and fears sometimes present themselves in dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just like a lot of subconscious things that don't actually appear in real life manifest themselves in dreams for me sometimes.
I think that if you believe that stuff, it's just, you know, like a lot of things, it just helps you to stay rational, you know?
I mean, but also
it's like, okay, there's a reason for this, even though there may not be, it's still like, that's something that can ground you.
it could be like if you think it's gonna happen, it's more likely to happen because like I don't
Manifesting.
really
Perception.
believe that much in like deeper rooted meanings of dreams personally, and they all do, and they experience that stuff more than I do.
That's true.
Mm.
Like I experience very standard normal dreams, and I also happen to not really believe in that stuff.
Yeah,
So maybe there's some connection there.
the more you
Maybe
manifest
you'll
the
see
thought.
it, and
The
then
more you believe in it, the more you see it.
Probably.
So to kind of like tie it all up then, guys, the EP is called Fever Dream, and Colin, you have said that you think that you have really sweet sounding songs, but the lyrics are kind of on the opposite side. Is this EP supposed to be a good dream, or is it more of like a visual representation of a bad dream?
Just as dreams are in our head, they're up for interpretation. So that's up
Okay.
to the listeners.
That's good. That's awesome.
For me,
Nailed it!
damn, son!
I feel like no one else can top that now, Will. Like, way to go. You just kind of made it really hard for anyone else to talk.
Be kind of like a dream where like you're losing control and like you're just like grappling for control of yourself.
Mm.
Yeah. And a lot of, or two of the songs are about like, you know, not like a specific, like not a real person, or maybe like a real person.
Foolish
but, like,
Boy is about a real person.
right, but it's about like a person.
Dahlia is about, it's based
It's a
off
person,
of a real person.
but it's still about a
And sick.
person.
It's about a character made up based on a person
Yeah.
I know.
So it is dreams. Like, each one is kind of like what a dream could be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. I think if any new person listens to this and they hear that before listening to the EP, that's a good mindset to come in on. Because I know now going into that EP, it's going to be a really different mindset listening to these 3 songs. Which, by the way, 3 songs, short amount of time, you only remember half or the end of your dream. So it's interesting that you guys would even kind of like relate it back. You can only remember like 3 songs, maybe, right? Or just remember Foolish Boy, right?
Huh, that was our intent.
No, if you're gonna
Yeah, dude,
remember
we
one,
planned
remember
all of
six.
it.
We planned that.
Yeah, just
Please
remember
remember
sick.
sick.
Remember Sig.
Yeah.
It's like
All right,
that.
guys. Well, do you have any other last words to say, to give out, any shout outs, anything that you want to catch up
You're
on?
listening to
or
our
your
music.
poo.
Okay, wait.
Stay safe. Listen to new music.
Wear
as
your
much music as
mask.
possible. Be creative and
Support local artists and local businesses.
and love everyone.
But yeah, peace
And
and
vote.
love.
And
And
vote.
vote.
Ooh. Hopefully I can get this out before then, because I know we also have to vote early if you're going to do it in mail.
Yes, boys in blue.
Yeah.
Boys
Yeah,
and-
support the Boys in Blue,
Yeah.
aka USPS. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you guys
Yeah.
doing this. This was the first episode we did, so I'm really glad that this is the one that we get to do with you guys.
So honored.
Yeah, I feel,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.